A very good afternoon to everyone. Today we are going to talk about the energy sector, the drone uses of in the energy sector. So we are Matrix Geo Solution, a geospatial and engineering consultancy company. So this is our profile. So things what we do, we are basically into modern survey technologies, whether it is from the satellite or aerial surveys or from the drones. So drone we have start utilizing in 2014, and we provide geospatial consultancies and engineering consultancies for road, railways and highways, as well as for the irrigation purposes, water sectors and all that. And we also develop the softwares for the visualization of the drones. So these are some of the profiles that what we have done so far. It's not moving. So our relevance is basically from greenfield to brownfield and brownfield to final projects. So during the planning you can utilize, during the constructions you can utilize the drones and our services, and in the existing infrastructures for the asset mapping, monitoring the events and other things. So these are some of the sectors where we work. These are some of the products which we have developed so far. This is the LiDAR sensors we have developed, and we have also developed the PPK drones, and you can also contact us for the satellite imageries. So coming back to the different renewable energy sectors, I will not talk about the uses of drones in thermal power, because thermal power is not considered as a green energy sector. So we will talk about a little bit drone use in solar, wind and geothermal energies, and hydropower, majorly in the hydropower, and biomass energy, energy infrastructures and grid management systems. You know, there are two aspects of power. One is generation and another is transmission. So generation is including the thermal. These are some of the sources where it can happen. There is another thing which is coming up is tidal energy. So on the basis of sea tide effects, you can generate the energy at the moment. So that is also possible, but it is not happening anywhere in India at the moment. So moving back to solar energy, in solar energy you can see you can utilize, you can use the drones from photovoltaic energy and concentrated solar power in heating, solar cooking and positive solar energy. So whenever you are going to plan on a solar plant, you have to make a survey of that particular area for different purposes, for the topographical structures, for drainage pattern analysis and all that. So for that you can utilize the drone. So solar panel installation planning, the drone capabilities are there. Solar panel installation planning, site survey assessment, inspection and maintenance, predictive maintenance and performance monitoring, safety and accessibility, cost-effective and safe surveying, post-installation monitoring and energy optimization. Currently we are working for Adani Power, whereas we have been working for almost 3,800 square kilometer in near to the Jaisalmer and Pakistan border, where we've been working as a surveyor, and we've been planning the solar park over there for the Adani. We have just done a project for Solar Energy Corporation of India Limited in Leh at the altitude of 5,600 meters with the help of drone again. And we have provided very high resolution data of less than 5 centimeter that has been calculated using the drone photogrammetry. So these are some of the roles where you can utilize. So early detection of the failures and monitoring, post-event analysis. That means if something is going on the, once you have installed the solar plant, you have to clean that, or you have to figure out the hot spots. So for that, you can utilize thermography with the help of drone, and you can utilize the hot spots in those areas. You can, of course, utilize different other INSAR or other LIDAR sectors, LIDAR instrument for taking the best topographical area in that area. So in wind energy, it is generally utilized for the planning as well as for the inspection. So you can do a lot of planning using the, again, it is major work of the drone is inspection and topographical survey. That is the same key factor you can find everywhere. So in wind, air, I think it is not so clear. Okay. So are you able to see this properly? Okay. So air movement is also one of the area where the drone can actually help, and offshore wind farms, wherever you find lot of wind farms near to the seas. So those farms are using the tidal effects as well as the wind energy to get the better flow of the energy. So the capability in wind energy is the site assessment, data collection, construction support, and emergency response, and training and simulation. So generally in wind, it is pre-monitoring, post-monitoring, long-term monitoring and research, real-time monitoring. So if somebody wants to do the real-time monitoring, one has to fly the drone at the same time. Most of the time he has to fly in those particular areas. One by one he has to inspect those things. And so wind energy is of course cost effective and almost free. In geothermal, again, it can be, the drone uses are real-time monitoring, site assessment and mapping, inspection and maintenance, environmental monitoring, data collection and construction support, and cost efficiency. In hydropower, there are enormous use of drone capabilities are there in hydropower. We have been doing a lot of projects in hydro, whether it is a big size project or it is a small size project. We have been working with 300 megawatt project in Hydel in Arunachal Pradesh. We have just completed one project in Jammu and Kashmir on the Chenab River, which is about 600 megawatt. This technology, the drone technology, can actually help in designing the catchment area analysis, and after that the dam access finalization and finalizing the submerged areas. So those things can be done with the help of drone data, and it can source the water flow, hydrological cycles, reservoir making, okay, and then it can also figure out that what kind of turbine would be required for that particular water flow, okay, and where the power plant has to be. Not only that, in those particular areas, those areas are generally extremely high hill terrains, and in those areas you need to do a lot of cut and fill analysis. So those things can be possible by utilizing the different type of terrain, and that can directly come from the drone based LiDAR system or drone photogrammetry. So that is what we have been doing. So the platform, you can utilize different type of systems are there. For example, one reservoir is there, and then you make the dam. There are another schemes is called, that is called pump storage plants. That is called PSP. We have just completed 3 PSPs. PSP means there are two different reservoirs are there. You don't need water again and again. You just, when the power is on the peak, you take the water, you lift the water in the upper reservoir, and then in the morning time it will come down. So that generates the energy. So that is, those particular power plants are called PSP plants. Right now there are about 180 power plants have been sanctioned by the government of Ministry of Jal Shakti that has been developed at this moment. And then you can utilize for the tidal and wave energy platforms. So again, in this hydroelectric, you can utilize the drone capacity is site assessment, mapping and surveying, and the rapid deployment of the staff, as well as the by understanding that particular topography, environmental monitoring, inspection and maintenance, data collection and analysis, and emergency response. And mind it, this is extremely cost effective, because if somebody has to go there in that particular topography by foot to foot, or by using the total station surveys, it will take hell lot of time, and you will never ever get the right data sets. And then we can talk about little bit upon the transmissions. Transmission are two types. One is power transmission, and another is distribution of the supplies, that generally less than 440 kVA. And then if you talk about the power distribution, that's a huge network which it is already there. So there are roles of drones are there. The first thing is site suitability analysis, where we have to put in the pylons and the corridor mapping. So corridor mapping would be required for the first time. The second time, once it has been installed, when already power lines is there, then you have to inspect on regular basis whether the SAC calculation is there, hot spots are there, or some breakage is there in the pylons or in the capacitors. So those things would be required at time to time. The drones are, playing a vital role in drone inspections. Previously, it has been done by the helicopters, but right now PGCIL and other state electricity boards are utilizing the drones for doing the grid inspection as well as monitoring of that. You also find a big problem of heavy vegetation near to the power lines. So vegetation encroachment is there. So that is also been taken care by the drones. Wherever the vulnerable situations are there, we generally go with the drone and figure it out whether this particular location is having some problem or not. So in this case, generally early warning and preparedness, real-time monitoring, high resolution mapping is required, rapid damage assessment. If something happens, rapid, you can send the drone and figure it out that where the problem is there. In most of the areas where the big pylons are there, if landslide happens, then whole distribution lines damages. So those areas can be figured out for the slope analysis with the help of slope analysis by utilizing the LiDAR drones. So again, most of the functional and benefits are there, which is written, and these functions or the factors are there almost in all type of power sector. Okay, so inspection and monitoring, data collection, analysis, all these things are there. So in this, we are trying to showcase the lower economic losses, reduce system failures, and reduce asset downtime. So in distribution, transmission, clean energy projects, and conventional generations, visual and thermal inspection, GIS mapping, theft detections are the things. Vegetation management, which I told you earlier. So I am done with this presentation at the moment. If you have any questions related to use of drones in the energy sector, you can just ask me, or else I have the modern survey technological advantages that how it can happen and it can be utilized for power sector. I'm happy to answer. Thank you.